in Asian restaurants, you can call any waiter. Like, oh, like you're right. The first time I ever went to a restaurant in America, and like I was like, oh, can I have ketchup? Like I like went like this, and then Tyler was like, you have to wait for them to come back to you. I was like, how would they know I want ketchup? Like I have to wait until my food is cold and I get ketchup. Like what? And if they forget, also like you're supposed to just act cool and like oh just tip less later. It's like it's so fake. Like no wonder your people need therapy so much. It's like what the So, hello everybody. Welcome to Outcasts the Podcast. Yes.
Ooh.
How long more are you going to stay in Cancun, Mexico, Yasmin?
I'm leaving soon. I think I'm dark enough. I have to go home now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're back in New York like what, next week?
Yeah, I'll be back in next week. I'm pretty content. Pretty content.
Nice. What is the top three things that you did in Cancun,
Oh,
Mexico that's like the best?
oh. So there was one where we swam in the open ocean. Like we swam to like the dolphin discovery, but like dolphins were inside the cage, right? Because that's what people pay for to like see the dolphins, and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dolphins are inside and they swim with them. But we were outside, and then we were just out there swimming, and we dolphins came to us, and I touched the dolphin because I put my hand inside the fence.
My God, that's so cool.
Super cool. And later on, I was reading about dolphins, like, oh, whether dolphins bite people or not. And apparently they can get pretty aggressive sometimes. And even sharks are scared of them. But
Yeah, I
they're
think
smart.
I heard that dolphins they rape like other animals or other fish or something.
They are pretty mischievous. Yeah, they can be. So, and I
It's
was like,
because
oh,
they look pretty and they can get away with it.
that's true. So that's one. And then obviously getting my diver's license. Now wherever I go, even if I go to Florida, I could go like trips.
It's
And I'm
like,
excited for that.
driver's license, please. Oh my God, nice.
Yeah. And what's the third? I don't know. I think just the food and fruits here, just being able to buy cheap
Cheap.
tropical fruit, you know what I'm talking about? Like mangoes and dragon fruit,
You're gonna go to New
papaya.
York where everything is freaking taxed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to like the fall leaves in New
Oh,
York. So
true, true,
that's what
true,
I'm
true.
looking forward to.
It is fall season.
Oh, it's your birthday month.
Oh, yes, it is. My birthday is literally like few days away from Halloween. Usually people party on my day,
Oh,
28th.
really?
I don't know. It depends if it's in the weekend. But
No, yeah. I've been seeing Halloween content on my social media now more and
for
more.
we gotta do one. We gotta like maybe a lesson of Cantonese, like of characters in Halloween, like Mopa, witch. Is it
Just
a witch?
Mopo, yeah.
We should do that. That's cool.
That'd be cool.
Yes. But today we're going to talk about more of a culture like lesson, just about what we perceive, though, obviously not, we didn't like read books or articles about this, but just,
Disclaimer, this is all based on personal experience. Do not come
yeah,
for us.
don't come for us, but we don't want to read articles because that's like, that's still like someone else's perspective. You know what I mean? So it's like we can only disclaimer our own perspective. So yeah, freedom of speech, bitch. Anyways, so there are some stuff in Asia when we like stuff that we do in Asia. If we did it here in America, it would be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wrong. Okay. And
Yes. Wherever in Asia, I guess, in general.
generally Asia. Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like most stuff that I thought of is like, in most Asia places is like it's the same. Yeah, compared to in
Yeah.
the US. Even I feel like sometimes even Europeans act differently than the US. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
for sure, for sure. No, yeah.
Yes.
And I think there's some type of like the way of how they see Americans too. And I'm sure there's a lot more story for that, but we don't know so much about.
For sure, for sure,
Um,
for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like yeah, white people have like different types of competitiveness, I feel like. It's like, oh, you won the war, and it's like, oh, but our country like helped out in the war, whatever. Like, okay, it's funny they would talk about that type of stuff, like, oh, the French back out on the war, they're cowards, bubble. And well, Asian
I
countries are
think
like, yeah.
no, I think there's a whole thing with Japan and China too, like the whole like history, like something about them not admitting to it.
But
There's that
people,
too, but
yeah, that we grew up with love Japan. They like
oh yeah,
live for Japan. Oh my
yeah,
God.
like we're really heavily influenced by Japan. Even our snacks and food, like sushi, how sushi's a big thing in Macau.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true. Japanese and also Korean. Like there's a lot of Korean
Oh,
food there
mm-hmm,
too.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's all mixed up. That's why it's Asia versus US, because we can only talk for the Asians, in my opinion. And yeah, but more so, we're from Macau, so we're also from a tiny city. So bear with us.
You go,
Let me go first. I go first.
you go first.
Okay. So when someone gives you a present, a gift, birthday gift, I don't know, it doesn't matter. We open it by ourselves at home. Like it's rude. Actually, in Asia, it's rude to open it in front of someone. And it's
Oh my
like,
god.
but here it's rude if you don't open it in front of someone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's rude because here it's like, or in America, I'm in Mexico, but in America, it's like if you open it right away, it's like you're excited, you're happy about the gift, you're grateful for it, right? You're grateful for it. You're like, ah, yeah. But in Asia, it's almost like a thing where you're not being
Opposite.
humble
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. It's like you're not supposed to open it in front of someone. And it's like, I mean, me as a person, I feel like I want to open it at home, like by myself, like, because it's like,
yeah, yeah,
it's more
me
of a
too.
personal like experience, like, oh, like so
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like I have to like fake my reaction or anything. I think that for me, that applies more to like the red pocket, the lacy in Chinese New Year when you receive from older people. Like you don't open to check how much they gave you. You don't do that. Like
Mm-mm,
you
mm-mm.
do it at home and then you get disappointed or you're excited at home, to see how much
Exactly.
they give you.
Exactly. Oh my God. So that's my first
Yeah.
one. Just because it's like, I mean, me
Yeah.
as a person, I prefer to open it at home. Like I don't want my face is I cannot like I don't know how to play poker, but I shouldn't play poker. Everybody would
I'm
know
so bad at it.
my face is like, it's I'm mad. Like I know when you're mad also. I know like it's like our face is just so expressionate, It's just like we
You can't hide your emotions.
yeah.
In Macau, I guess we've talked about this a lot, but like in Macau, if you want to get the receipt, you hustle for the waitress. You always have to call for them. So I'm gonna go, hey, Langler, or like, hey, I'm gonna raise my hand for you and ask for the waitress and waiter. But if you do that here, I was told that that's rude. You should never do that. That's like
Like,
demeaning or something.
yeah, you have to wait for the hostess to come. It's like, what? And we tip
Yeah,
this person? It's like, oh my God. Like, what if I want to go right away? You know?
like hurry up. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think of why it would be considered rude. Is like kind of like calling for someone, or it's like, oh, I don't know. You know,
The thing with us is like the waiters in Asia that we grew up with, like not in fancy restaurants, they don't come to you unless you ask them to come to you. Like they would
you
literally be
gotta hustle
standing
for them. You gotta
outside.
shout
Yeah.
their names
They
or
yeah.
shout for them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's not like a host in one per table, Here is like that, like, oh, a host like has to bring you to the table and then she managed those tables. But it's like in Asian restaurants, you can call any waiter, like, oh, like you're right. The first time I ever went to a restaurant in America and like I was like, oh, can I have ketchup? Like I like when like this, and then Tyler was like, you have to wait for them to come back to you. I was like, how would they know I want ketchup? Like I have to wait until my food is cold and I get ketchup. Like what? And if they forget, also like you're supposed to just act cool and like, oh, just tip less later. It's like
Mhm.
it's so fake. Like no wonder your people need therapy so much. It's like what the I'm
The
like
bird.
because I'm obviously over there like also like self-conscious. I was like, oh, should have I asked like for water? Or I don't know. Like I get like, oh, should I do I really not need anything else or like that? Like I think too much. It's like now I think a lot about my performance as a as a customer because of this. Because I also don't want to be rude. But then when they told me that I can't freaking raise my hand up to like ask for sauce, I was like, what? And like, that's not our waiter. Like you have to got, and it's like, oh, that's the person that takes the food out, not the waiter.
You cannot ask other waiters or waitresses for help because it has to be the one specifically that served you in the beginning, that introduced themselves to you. It has to be that person that helps you, because the other person won't get tips from you. You don't ask them for help.
It's so crazy. Oh my God.
It's different. Yeah. It's
at the end of the day, it's because of the tips. It's like, oh, you gotta like judge the performance of this person. Like, and tip them. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
When really you should just put it all in a tip bowl and just tip, like, divide it to everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I remember working at a restaurant before, like, depending on how long you've been a waiter or waitress, you get like the better seatings. So the seatings where like people would want to sit more often. And if you work like maybe like just a few months there, then you get the worst seatings like in the corner of the restaurants or where it's dark. So it's all around tipping. Like the whole system is all around tipping.
All right. Now, one thing, for me, is in Asia, if someone comes up to you to talk to you like small talk, you can literally just ignore them and just, it's not rude, honestly, it's fine. But here, if someone comes up and like, oh, talks, hey, how are you? Like, where are you from? And then it's like, oh, and if you don't talk back, you're considered rude, and like you're rude. And I'm just like, what? I don't want to talk, like, and I'm rude.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go into an elevator and then you bump into someone you've never met before and they're like, hey, how are you? And I'm just like, hi. I don't even respond to the how are you anymore, because it's like I don't know if you're asking me, do you want the answer, or
especially Uber drivers. Oh my God, it's a full on like story of your life and their story of their lives, and it's like, oh my God, I don't need to know this stuff. It's just I feel like it's like a performance. It's just I need to know stuff to speak about, or not I'm like a weirdo over there. Like, they always ask me stuff I never ask back, and you can tell they're like they want you to ask. They would be like, so like how are you? Like, oh my God, one time it was Tyler and I. We were at the cashier, like in the line, and then this woman in front of us was like this, well, oh, you guys look so in love, like that to us, and we're like, haha, thank you, and we're just like, dude. And then out of nowhere she's like, oh, I didn't mean that and like to offend you or anything, if you feel offended or so. And I'm like, no, offended.
You just have nothing else to say. Like, it's like, okay, thank you, that's it.
And she kept coming, and I'm like, oh my God. And then the cashier had a problem that she had to get the manager, so it was like we're waiting, and I'm like, oh my God. And then she's like, and she's just, you guys just look so in love, and we need more love in this world. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cringe. Like, did you want us to tell her she looked in love? Because she didn't. Okay.
Yikes. Sorry, lady. I don't know if your mom does this, but like when you're younger, your mom bumps into someone and you know it's gonna be a long talk, and you're just there as a kid, you're just waiting. I'm like, I don't want to be that person, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm like, yeah, of course I remember you when I was 3 months old, you carrying me. Of course I remember your face and your name and who you are.
Like, yeah, right. How? And you're just like, all right, like, Mom, can we go?
This is not something specifically I do, but I remember in Macau, like, it's pretty normal that when you answer the phone, you go, why? You shout really loud. You say, hello, what's this? But they're not angry, you know? They're just answering the phone, like talking like normal people to their family or something. But like here, I could see that would be weird, and people would look at you like, well, what are you doing?
It's more like, hey, you're like, why? Right? Yeah, why? Hey. Why? Oh, jumping off that, what would consider like what's okay is that us responding in that's okay. Like if you respond to someone like here, you got like I mean, I respond that way to Tyler once, and he's like, like, what about an okay? Like, I'm like, what? You need me to say
Oh my God, is it
okay
because it's like that's like minimum effort? Like I need you to put a little bit more effort in
in my
conversation.
okay, right?
Oh, I
Like,
see.
yes, sir. Oh my God, I can imagine actually more in the southern, maybe because he went to school in North Carolina, who knows? But yeah, like we're like, sir, yes, like yes, sir, ma'am, yes,
Oh
ma'am.
my
They
God.
say that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yeah. Like in restaurants or
Bro,
yeah, yeah.
when my mom scolds me and I'm like, okay, he's like, okay, he'll be like, you're saying okay,
It's the
okay. I'm
opposite. You're
like,
not allowed to say okay.
yeah. She's like, oh, then I don't say
Let's be honest.
anything.
Anything you say would be kajan, okay, kajan. Like anything you say would be a backfire.
That's true. That's true. Why are you not saying anything? I'm like, what? I don't know what to do.
Dude, it's so true. You say anything, you keep quiet, like whatever it is, they'll
They don't
spank you
say
for
they're just letting out their anger. It's really it's that I
No,
mean
it's
now that
true.
I look back at it, it's like they're breaking just letting out their anger at us, aren't they? Oh my God. Uh, oh. When someone like if you're like in the street and someone goes, "Quái mũi à, quái lẩu à." Like it's honestly it's not that rude. Like people, I don't know, maybe some people will be like, why are they calling me ghost girl, ghost boy? It's like they're just saying, oh, there's foreigners. Yeah, I guess in
Yeah.
America, if you say that, it's kind of weird. Like, oh, look,
It's
foreigners, because
yeah, it's rude
everybody in
because you're like
America
in
looks
their face, right?
different. Yeah. But I feel like in America, everybody looks different. Like, there's already like American, African American, like
Yeah.
Asian American, Mexican American. So it's like you can't go like, oh, it's a foreigner.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
like, what do you
melting pot.
mean? Yeah, what do you mean foreigner? Like, I can be from here. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be like, you're right, but yeah. So Asian, like even Filipinos, they would
They'll
look.
it's more like of a curious nature, like they're curious of you and your presence in their country.
Exactly. It's
So it
like
might be yeah.
it's easy to like to see a white person in like the crowd. Oh my God, one time Tyler and I went to Philippines, and then it's like we were in the airport. I was like trying to buy food, and he was like looking around. I was like right beside him, but he was like he thought he lost me in the crowd because we all look similar. I'm like, seriously? But honestly, I felt the same way when I came here. Okay, I was like, "Is that Tyler?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's another Caucasian, another Caucasian." But yeah, like, that's yeah, it's whatever. Like, take it as a compliment, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you are a foreigner, so just say hi. In Philippines, they will use their lips to point at you. Like, may puti, puti, oh, puti, white.
Put oh, does that mean white?
Yeah, I'm very bad at my Tagalog, guys. So what else is there?
Um
Let me think.
well, I can see this. So like in Macau we have this yum talk culture, and the way they do is they would have a plastic on the table, and when you eat like chicken or food, you have the bones on the table,
You
and
spit it out on the table.
you spit out everything on the table, and that looks messy, I think, to foreigners, and maybe that's considered rude, but like that's pretty normal. That's like a way to kind of enjoy your food. You're there
Yeah.
eating, like it doesn't matter if you look good or not. The food is good, so it
It's like
doesn't
having
matter.
chicken wings and you just put it on the table afterwards. So it's easier to like just throw it away with the bag. Like they will just
Yeah,
wrap
yeah,
it
yeah,
all up
yeah,
and throw it. So, but yeah, I can
yeah.
imagine people thinking, oh, it's good. Like when you're eating the chicken
That's
feet.
gross,
Oh, the chicken
disgusting.
feet is so good
Yeah,
though. And
yeah,
spit it out.
yeah. And because chicken
Mm.
feet has like a lot of tiny parts of the finger like bones, so like
Yeah.
usually after like a meal you pile up quite a lot of bones, like
Mm.
a good amount of bones,
Yes.
um and that's pretty normal to have it on the table,
Mm.
and usually waitress and waiters are used to cleaning that.
Yes. Because the way they eat chicken feet, guys, is you put it all in your mouth and then like with your mouth and teeth and your tongue, you're working together
You
inside
suck it out.
and just like get the meats out of the bones, get the bones out and just spit up. And that's how you enjoy chicken feet, people. delicious.
Chicken feet 101, how to eat it.
Exactly.
I guess depending on which restaurant you go to, but most of the time in local restaurants, eating properly is not really. They don't really care if you eat nicely or not, right? But I think more in the like the Western culture is more important to like, oh, which fork do you use, or I guess that's more extreme, but like we don't care, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like slurping noodles.
Slurping, there you go.
It's more of a Japanese style, but because if the Japanese thinks it's how to say the nice way to do it, we should all follow, because Japanese and ramen, I mean, it just makes sense. But yeah,
that's
like
where it comes from.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, slurp your noodles, guys. If you were in Asia, but in America, obviously that's considered super rude. It's like,
You're being too loud. Hello, I'm trying to eat my food.
It's like, are you what caveman? Why are you slurping your noodles?
Can you be a little bit more civilized, please?
Here's one. When you go to someone's place in Asia and you help to clean up the place, like wash the dishes or something like that, like go for it. It's awesome, habit, amazing. But here they would like be like offended almost, like why are you cleaning up, like you're not going to clean up my place, like no, just like first they're like, oh no, you shouldn't be cleaning up because you're my guest, and then second it's like, why are you cleaning up, like is it because it's dirty, like, you know, like this type of thing. And then I'm like, oh
yeah, I don't know, I just appreciate it if you help to clean, because it's like your mi casa is tu casa, you know, like my home is your home. Is it rude to not say bless you when you sneeze?
It's not rude. It's not rude to not say in Asia, but in America, I guess some people would find it rude. Some people would find it offending if you don't say it. I feel like, you know, I mean, I feel pressured to say it too. I feel like, you know, bless you.
Yeah.
It's like just in case.
Just in case
this person's not having a bad day. It's like, oh my God, why didn't you say bless you? Like, okay. All right, guys. So that is all for today. That's all the stuff we can think of that is not rude in Asia, but pretty rude in America.
So you don't get shocked when you visit.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully autumn has reached your destination and it's hoodie season.
Sweater weather.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Like and subscribe and share if you want to.